The story begins in the residence of the prestigious Count family of Seldom Kingdom. Our protagonist, Jamie Welton, is restless, tossing and turning in bed, unable to find any peace in sleep. With a frustrated sigh, Jamie abruptly sits up. As he recalls the dream from the previous night, we learn his name: Jamie Welton, the eldest son of the Count family, the official heir to the Seldom Kingdom's noble title. Suddenly, we are pulled into the dream from the night before. A man with black hair lies motionless on the floor, surrounded by what looks like spilled ketchup blood. Despite his battered state, his enemy Kukaku boldly claims he will seal him. The man with black hair, undeterred, mocks his foe, declaring that even the 12 heavenly gods cannot defeat him. He laughs at the absurdity of the situation, finding humor in his impending doom. Accepting defeat, the black-haired man grants permission for the sealing. However, before he succumbs, he vows that when he reawakens, the gods will beg for death as they'll face a peaceful end only amidst agony. Dismissive of his threats, the gods go through with the sealing. We return to the present, where Jamie reveals that he was once that very man, sealed by the gods. But after an eternity, a crack in the barrier set him free, and now he's been reborn into the Welton family. We flash back to his birth, where his parents gush over their newborn son. Jamie, confused, wonders where he is and why he can't speak. It's been 9 years since that day. Jamie reflects. A maid approaches as Jamie sighs, muttering that today will be another long, tiring day. She greets him, and he returns the greeting. The maid asks why the young master is up so early, to which he replies that he was simply admiring the beauty of the sky. Though the maid continues to flatter him, Jamie notices her overenthusiastic nature. She then reminds him to get dressed as his parents are awaiting his arrival. Jamie walks with the maid to meet his parents. As they arrive, he braces himself with a sigh. Here we go again. His mother, father, and sister greet him warmly. His mother, showering him with affection, calls him adorable. His father compliments his wife, claiming their children take after her in appearance. Jamie explains that his father is one of the 5 sword masters of the kingdom, a strong man, though completely devoted to his family. Despite his father's formidable reputation, he's soft when it comes to his wife and children. Jamie has a particular fondness for his younger sister, who feeds him at the table. He gently pats her head, all while secretly wishing he could be left alone. Keeping up this facade of affection is exhausting. Finally, Jamie finds a moment to himself. He fluffs his pillow, crashes onto his bed, and sighs. The constant affection is overwhelming, and though he's grown somewhat used to it, it's still exhausting. He thinks back to when he was younger, when the overwhelming love made him want to disappear. Yet, despite everything, he's come to appreciate certain aspects of this new life: his grand mansion and, of course, the library. Right now, Jamie feels weak, but this weakness is nothing compared to the opportunity he was given to be reborn. It's revealed that the gods still exist, feeding off their believers like parasites. Jamie reflects on his current state. His powers are a mere shadow of what they once were. Dark magic no longer exists in this era, but time is on his side. His expression darkens, and for a moment, he looks unhinged. He directs a silent message to the gods: keep being arrogant, I'll come for you. Just then, his maid interrupts, calling him awkwardly young master. Jamie stiffens, unsure if she overheard anything. He quickly regains his composure, forcing a smile. Let's go, he replies, though inwardly he's panicking. Did she hear that? He wonders, feeling uneasy. Acting cute all the time is exhausting. Sometimes he even thinks he'd rather be sealed away again. Next, Jamie finds himself once more visiting his mother and sister, prepared for another round of book reading. As he reaches out for a hug, his hand accidentally grabs a handful of his mother's chest. For a brief moment, both his mother and sister are wide-eyed in shock, but Jamie quickly switches to his innocent, cute persona, and the moment passes without comment. His mother recovers and explains that the book they're reading today is The Great Magician Highness. Jamie tries to suppress his boredom as she begins. After an excruciatingly dull reading session, his mother finally finishes. Jamie, masking his disdain, exclaims that he wants to become a magician like Highness. His mother laughs and reminds him that he's already defeated all 3 magic teachers she's brought in for him. But, she adds, his father has found the greatest magician of all just for him. Afterward, Jamie excuses himself and heads to the library, not without giving his mother another hug, keeping up appearances. In the library, Jamie sighs. He explains that he's read the latest mana-breathing books, but none have been helpful. It's already meal time again, and he's exhausted from eating with his family 3 times a day. On his way to the dining hall, Jamie encounters an old man standing in his path. The stranger is startled, and Jamie notices that his mana radiates from him like a raging storm. Who is this person? Jamie wonders. How does he possess such an overwhelming aura? He assesses the man's power, realizing he's at least a 7th-class magician. How did he get here? Is he an intruder? Jamie narrows his eyes and takes an offensive stance. Who might you be? He asks coldly. And how did you enter this place? Not just anyone can walk into the Welton mansion. The old man, unfazed, silently evaluates Jamie. He thinks to himself that this boy's strength is far beyond that of a typical child. Meanwhile, Jamie bristles at the stranger's calm demeanor, internally fuming. If I were my old self, I'd make this man kneel before me in an instant, he thinks, annoyed that the man seems to be measuring his potential. Determined to teach him a lesson, Jamie prepares to show just how painful crossing him can be. The old man, intrigued by the sheer amount of mana this 9-year-old possesses, grows curious. Just how powerful is this child? He wonders, beginning to see why Jamie might be a special case. Jamie channels his dark magic toward the old man, but the attack has no effect. The man remains completely unfazed. Jamie, surprised, thinks to himself, it didn't work, at least not as I expected. But I didn't think it wouldn't do any damage at all. Meanwhile, the old man observes in amazement. Is this really the power of a 9-year-old? He wonders. With a bold declaration, the old man announces that it's his turn. As he prepares to strike, Jamie feels a surge of anxiety. He's completely unscratched, he thinks, sweating internally. Yet Jamie quickly realizes that the attack isn't aimed at him, so he chooses not to react. This leaves the old man even more astonished, impressed that the boy didn't flinch. Suddenly, Jamie's father appears, blocking the old man's fire magic. You're going too far, he tells the Marquis before turning to his son. Are you all right? Jamie responds with a quick yes before slipping back into his cute, innocent act, feigning shock at the events. It's then revealed that the old man is Marquis Linmel, and he immediately sees through Jamie's facade. As Jamie's father confronts Linmel, the Marquis expresses envy for the Welton heir, leaving the Count confused, wondering if the old man has lost his mind. The scene shifts to a meeting room, where the 2 men continue to argue. Jamie's father asserts he's my son and the heir to the Welton family. Linmel responds calmly, I know, which only makes the tension in the room rise. The old man then challenges Jamie's father, asking, how much do you really know about your son? Do you realize what a genius he is? Jamie's father, still reeling from the earlier attack, insists that's why he entrusted Jamie to the Marquis in the first place. But Linmel surprises him by declining the request to teach the boy. What do you mean? Jamie's father demands. Linmel finally reveals his true identity. He's the strongest 8th-class magician in the kingdom. Jamie's father is momentarily shaken, wondering if his son might not be talented enough. But Linmel quickly corrects him. You misunderstand, he says. I can't teach your son because I wouldn't be able to handle him. This leaves Jamie's father speechless. The Marquis continues, your son was able to read all of my magic. He didn't even flinch when I attacked. He goes on to explain that Jamie is already at a 3rd-class magic level, despite being entirely self-taught. The boy is a monster in the making. He doesn't need a teacher, just support. If you nurture him properly, he might become the legendary 9th class magician. Jamie's father is visibly shaken at the thought of his son reaching such heights. The Marquis offers a final apology for attacking Jamie earlier before adding cryptically, "A great storm is coming, and it will shake the world. It will be ... fun." Jamie's father laughs, unable to believe such a prediction. Back in his room, Jamie reflects on the exhausting day. After hearing what happened, his mother smothered him with affection, which left him stuck with her for hours. Although drained, Jamie is satisfied he finally witnessed real magic from this era. This magic would have been formidable even in the mythical dynasty, he muses. As Jamie reflects on his father's strength, he feels a twinge of envy but also pride. He really is worthy to be my father, he thinks with a smirk. Suddenly, Marquis Linmul appears out of nowhere. "What's so funny?" he asks. Jamie is left stunned, sweat beading on his forehead as fear grips him. The old man asks Jamie what he could have been thinking about to not notice someone in his room. Jamie lets out an ear-piercing scream that could be heard across the planet. Startled, he asks the old man, "What are you doing here?" The old man chuckles, calling Jamie truly a child for being so easily surprised. Jamie demands to know how he got in, to which the old man casually replies, "I teleported." Smirking, the old man remarks, "You were quite the obedient child in front of your father, but you're different when it's just us." Jamie, annoyed, retorts, "Family and strangers are completely different." The old man finds Jamie's attitude amusing and calls him a fun one. Sad that he's missing the opportunity to personally train Jamie due to his own limitations, the old man hands Jamie a magic tome. Surprised, Jamie asks why he's being given such a gift. The old man explains that Jamie's magic is outdated, so the book should help. Jamie, already frustrated, finds it audacious that the old man would insult him like that, but holds his tongue as the old man teases him. The old man goes on to explain that the book contains magic he created himself, and Jamie is the first to ever see it. Intrigued, Jamie becomes excited to witness the advancement of magic since his time. As he eagerly opens the book, the old man expresses high hopes for Jamie's potential. "I wonder what you'll be like the next time we meet," the old man muses. Jamie confidently replies, "More than you can imagine."